I mean, I don't want to slag him off, but it's some like bad fight IQ.
No, that's what we said going into it, lad. Obviously, he's explosive, he's fast, but his fight IQ is not good.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Because he was like going there, picking you right up off the floor, which gets a bit of a scream off the crowd, slamming you, and you were going,
yeah, and getting
straight back up. I'm like, you could have saved half the energy and been on top. Oh. You know what, it's weird because he's obviously like a really fit guy, but if you do a sprint for 5 minutes, no one's going to be fit, are they? That's what he does. He just goes out there, he throws from like here, swinging. Everything he does, he's picking up full blast. It's just, it's mad for someone who has that many fights. I'm just surprised.
Michael Chandler sends a clear bombshell message to UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, firing back with explosive comments after the British fighter questioned his fight IQ. In a move that's got the entire MMA community talking, Chandler hits back at Big Goober Tom Aspinall's fight IQ criticism with a Jon Jones dig that cuts deep into the heavyweight division's most controversial storyline.
Just say you'll fight him. He refuses to say still that he'll fight Tom Aspinall because he was walking through an airport and they were saying, so will you fight Tom Aspinall? And he's like, I'll fight whoever the champion is. Well, that's Tom Aspinall. I said, yeah, but the fight's not going to happen for a year. So we'll see who the champion is at that time.
This is developing into one of the most heated exchanges we've seen this year. So let's break down exactly what happened and why this feud is far from over. Let's start from the beginning. UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall was recently training with Liverpool's own Paddy Pimblett, the same fighter who dominated Michael Chandler at UFC 314 with devastating ground and pound in the third round. During a breakdown video on Aspinall's YouTube channel, the British heavyweight didn't hold back when analyzing Chandler's performance. Here's what the champion had to say. It's bad fight IQ. It's weird because he's a fit guy, but if you do a sprint for 5 minutes, no one's going to be fit, are they? That's what he does. He just goes out there, throws, swinging. Everything he does is picking up full blast. It's mad for someone who has that many fights. I'm just surprised.
I thought that's like some, I mean, I don't want to slag him off, but it's some like bad fight IQ.
No, that's what we said going into it, lad. Obviously, he's explosive, he's fast, but his fight IQ is not good.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Because he was like going there, picking you right up off the floor, which gets a bit of a scream off the crowd, slamming you, and you were going,
yeah, and getting
straight back up. I'm like, you could have saved half the energy and been on top.
And as soon, like, no, when he done that a few times, got back up, and then I jumped for the flying triangle and kicked him off me. And as soon as we separated there, when I kicked him off, I seen him go.
Yeah.
And I just knew he was fading already. You know what I mean? And started putting a bit more shots in on him.
You know what, it's weird because he's obviously like a really fit guy, but if you do a sprint for 5 minutes, no one's going to be fit, are they? That's what he does. He just goes out there, he throws from like here, swinging. Everything he does, he's picking up full blast. It's just...
Aspinall's criticism centers on Chandler's all-out brawler style. That relentless forward pressure that's given us some incredible knockouts, but also contributed to his struggles in the Octagon. The numbers don't lie. Chandler has suffered 5 losses in his last 7 UFC fights, with wins only against Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson since jumping ship from Bellator.
Michael Chandler's now 1-5 in his last 6, but he's always been exciting and a fan favorite. What do you make of his performance tonight? And
he's always in the fight. I mean, he's always in the fight. You know, tonight was a big night for Paddy Pimblett. People, like we were just talking about, people have been doubting Paddy Pimblett every single fight he fights, and he's undefeated in the UFC. But Chandler's like our Arturo Gatti, man. Every time that guy goes in, you know you're in for a good fight. You know it's going to be a war.
But as we're about to see, the 39-year-old veteran wasn't about to take this criticism lying down. Michael Chandler's response came swift and brutal, and he went straight for the jugular with a comparison that's sure to sting. Taking to threads, Chandler fired back with this scorching reply. Didn't that big goober say this like 3 years ago? And then waited as long for Jon as I did for Conor after he criticized me for waiting for Conor? Cool. Now, let's unpack this, because Chandler is drawing a direct parallel between 2 of the most frustrating waiting games in recent UFC history.
I hit him, he went down to his back, pulled guard. Gaethje hit him, hurt him, he went down to the guard. Poirier hit him, hurt him, and he went down to guard. He was knowingly forcing himself to go to the guard and forcing you to make a decision. Okay, you hit me. Okay, I went down. Now come into my world. And most guys don't go on top of him.
Chandler spent nearly 2 years on the sidelines waiting for Conor McGregor to return. They coached opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter in 2023, were scheduled to headline UFC 303 in June 2024, but McGregor pulled out with a toe injury. That fight never happened, and McGregor still hasn't competed since breaking his leg against Dustin Poirier in 2021. Similarly, Aspinall had been waiting for Jon Jones to defend the heavyweight title against him. Jones held the division hostage, showing little interest in fighting the interim champion, instead preferring to face older legends like Stipe Miocic.
I see a lot of people, comparing me to Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler waited for a long time for Conor McGregor and stuff like that. Great. I'm not looking to fight Jon Jones. I'm looking to fight for the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's what I want to be. I want to be the UFC undisputed heavyweight champion.
The key difference? Aspinall was actually criticizing Chandler for waiting around for McGregor during this time. And now Chandler is throwing that hypocrisy right back in his face, calling him a big goober in the process. To fully understand why this response cuts so deep, we need to examine the Jon Jones situation that finally reached its conclusion last month. Jones had been the heavyweight champion since submitting Cyril Gane in 2023, but he only defended the title once, against Stipe Miocic. The entire MMA world was calling for him to face Aspinall, the interim champion who had been putting on spectacular performances. But Jones kept stalling, kept making excuses, and kept the division in limbo. The saga finally ended when Dana White abruptly announced Jones's retirement from an event in Baku, Azerbaijan, elevating Aspinall to undisputed champion status.
Heavyweight division, take the title away from him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Chandler's point is crystal clear. Aspinall criticized him for waiting around for a big money fight with McGregor, but then did the exact same thing with Jones. The only difference is that Aspinall was forced to wait by UFC politics, while Chandler chose his path. But here's where it gets interesting. Many in the MMA community are pointing out that Aspinall's situation was different. He was the interim champion waiting for a logical unification bout, not chasing a money fight like Chandler was with McGregor. This war of words comes at a crucial time for both fighters, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Tom Aspinall will make his first defense as undisputed heavyweight champion against Cyril Gane at UFC 321 on October 25th in Abu Dhabi. He'll be coming off a 15-month layoff, but the British destroyer isn't worried about ring rust. Ring rust is all mental anyway, Aspinall recently stated. We can expect an improved version of me. I've had a year to train, and I'm going to show everyone what that's all about.
Well, I am the best heavyweight in the world, but I want to show everyone that I'm the best heavyweight in the world. Cyril Gane's lost 2 title shots, and I want to give him his 3rd and get him out of there.
But here's the pressure. According to retired UFC welterweight Matt Brown, the entire heavyweight division's credibility is on the line. If Gane, who has already failed twice to capture heavyweight gold, defeats Aspinall, it validates all the dismisses. Dismissive talk from Jon Jones and potentially sets the division back years. Meanwhile, Chandler is looking to bounce back from that brutal loss to Pimblett. His first fight after ending the McGregor wait didn't go as planned. Charles Oliveira outpointed him over 5 rounds at Madison Square Garden in their rematch.
It's almost an unfair comparison, right? When we talk about pressure versus pressure, everybody's under tremendous pressure. But I guess when you kind of look at it from not just pressure, but potential legacy and career and what's on the line, I think it's hard to not go with Tom Aspinall because the heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy, the heavyweight division loses a lot of respect. Even if Tom goes out there and it's a close fight or he gets dropped and then has to come back or something, like the heavyweight division has so little respect right now, probably deservedly so, I think. With Gane getting his 3rd title shot in a couple years, like Tom has to show that he is the heavyweight division. He has to prove that to the world. Like I am, the heavyweight division's not just shit, but like I'm so good that the heavyweight division is shit, right? This is kind of his thing that he has to go out there and prove to the world. And if he goes out there and loses to Gane, the division already is not respected. That brings Tom down significantly, I think, right? And of course, the potential Jon Jones fight, which is whatever, who knows, right? Like how he beats Gane, assuming he does, may play a factor too. Like if it turns out to be a close fight, again, John's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, like just waiting for Tom to fuck up and get dropped, get leg kicked and limping a little bit, or you know what I mean? John can't wait for that moment.
The big goober comment has particularly resonated with fans, showing that despite his recent struggles, Chandler still has that fighting spirit that made him a fan favorite. But beyond the verbal sparring, this exchange highlights a bigger issue in modern MMA: the tension between merit-based matchmaking and money fights that can derail careers and divisions. This feud between Michael Chandler and Tom Aspinall represents more than just hurt feelings. It's a clash between different philosophies of what it means to be a fighter in today's UFC. Will Aspinall prove his critics wrong and establish his dominance against Gane in October? Can Chandler channel this anger into a career-reviving performance in his next fight? And will we ever see these two settle their differences in the Octagon? One thing's for certain: this war of words has added another layer of intrigue to an already fascinating heavyweight landscape. That's all for tonight's MMA Central. Keep your gloves up, and we'll see you next time for more breaking news from the world of mixed martial arts.
I never once mentioned his name. He goes to X and he says, DC said he wants to kill me at his house. I already buried him twice in the Octagon. Third time I'm bringing the shovel. Not true. I never said I wanted to kill him at my house. Those aspirins must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. Okay, lot to unpack there. I do a job. I can't omit that. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody. But we can't fight. So it's like, why would I let you occupy space in my head? Only an insecure person would go, immediately, he's talking about me. You can't say you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person.
Yeah, there's another quote I want you to react to. So Jones said this recently: I believe I beat Daniel Cormier at heavyweight worse than I beat him at light heavyweight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Molly,
let's have a real talk. Just you and I.
You're messy, Molly. Yeah, you and I and the rest of you.
You and I, yeah.
Okay.
So you and me.
Let's make this true to everybody.
Okay.
Udonis will tell you, because he saw it. Udonis likes watching fighting. Jon Jones, when I was actively fighting, said I would not fight Daniel at heavyweight because it gives him an advantage. That's where he's best at. Molly, I'm 46 years old. I am retired. I swing a golf club. I swing a golf club in my free time. Yeah, he's out of his mind. I wish you saw the rest of the quote, because he said something. What did he say? It was like,
he said he fight better than I do.
It was much better or much worse.
It was not correct English,
It
Molly.
was bad English.
Yeah.
It was very bad English from Jon Jones.
Daniel Cormier has just dropped a bombshell response to Jon Jones' controversial tweets. And let me tell you, DC is not holding back this time. We're breaking down everything that went down, the deleted tweets, and why this feud might never end. So grab your popcorn, because this is about to get heated.
It seems as though Jon Jones does not like being talked about by two of the biggest voices in this game. I'm going to pull the curtain back for you guys. I know what Jon Jones made in Thailand. I was offered to coach this show with Jon Jones. Jon Jones' resume is impeccable. Jon Jones' star power, his ability to sell, matches up with anybody in the business. But guess what? Daniel Cormier's resume matches up with anybody in the business. Daniel Cormier brings eyes like people in the business. He's got me talking in third person. Jon Jones don't make more money than me in a week. Jon Jones makes more money than me when he fights. We over here eating. The biggest paydays you ever had were tied directly to me. We did it together. And I'll be honest with you, I'm talking about you. And I'm talking about you, and I'm getting paid to talk about you. But I don't fight no more, because all I can really do is talk. That's what I do. You fight. Or at least you're supposed to fight. You're talking about me, you're talking about Francis, you're talking about Chael, and almost ignoring the right thing. You can then stick it to everybody like you've done on so many different occasions and tell them about it. I can tell you guys on good authority, if I was still fighting today and I was still the heavyweight champion and Tom Aspinall was the #1 contender, I would have already fought him. 1,000%. Knowing how dangerous, it would have done nothing but excite me. I mean, this dude, Jon Jones, still talking? Come on.
All right, let's set the scene. Last week, Daniel Cormier was on the UFC 318 weigh-in show. You know, just doing his job as a commentator. During a segment called Rapid Fire, DC gets hit with this question: who would be the person you want to fight the most, and in what arena? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Cormier's answer. He said he'd want to fight the person he hated the most at his house because, and I quote, "I kind of want the ability to kill him, so I'd like to do it at my house." Now, here's the key detail everyone needs to understand. DC never mentioned Jon Jones's name. Not once. But then Dan Hellie, the show host, makes this comment asking if the person's name rhymes with bomb, clearly hinting at Jones. Everyone laughs, but again, DC never actually said the name. But guess who was watching? Guess who immediately felt like this was about him? Jon Bones Jones. And boy, did he come out swinging with not one but two deleted tweets that absolutely exploded across social media. First tweet, DC said he wants to kill me at his house. I already buried him twice in the Octagon. Third time, I'm bringing the shovel. A blind man can see the mansion I own in Daniel's head. I just didn't realize how deep his hate still runs. Those ass whoopings must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. And said, now that last line about being the most painful thing, that's where Jones crossed a major line, and DC is about to explain exactly why.
John, can you hear that, John?
Oh, you got your ass whipped today, buddy.
No, I didn't. You're a pussy.
Oh, yeah, you did it. I had you on
You're
your back.
such a little...
Oh,
my God.
I had you on your back. You suck, bro.
You're such a little...
Yo, felt so weak. I'm glad to know that.
You're tiny. I'm like, this dude sucks.
Daniel Cormier just released a YouTube video that is absolutely devastating. And when I say he dropped bombs, I mean he leveled Jon Jones with facts and logic. First, DC makes it crystal clear. I never once said Jon Jones is the person I was speaking about. I never said it. Go back and watch the clip. But here's where DC gets real. He calls out Jones for being insecure. Only an insecure person would go immediately. That he's talking about me. No, maybe I wasn't, but maybe I was. You don't know.
I never once mentioned his name. He goes to X and he says, DC said he wants to kill me at his house. I already buried him twice in the Octagon. Third time I'm bringing the shovel. Not true. I never said I wanted to kill him at my house. Those assholes must have left more than bruises. I feel like I'm the most painful thing that ever happened to that man's life. Emotional damage. Okay, lot to unpack there. I do a job. I can't omit that. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody. But we can't fight. So it's like, why would I let you occupy space in my head? Only an insecure person would go, immediately, he's talking about me. You can't say you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world. You say I'm the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child or their father got murdered. But again, he knows that. But that's why you know you're dealing with a different type of human being. When they can know that, they can know all those things, very well documented, what has happened in my life to say that. I didn't say his name. I'm only talking about what is the news now and also how stupid he is. But that's Jon Jones that thinks about me. He's still trying to fight me. When I'm retired, and they got a dude that wants to fight him and literally begging him to fight. And somebody, tell Jon Jones, get off my page, man. Like, dang, what is he doing? Watching what I do? Come on, Jon.
Then Cormier addresses the elephant in the room, his job as a commentator. I do a job where I talk about the biggest things in the sport, so I can't omit talking about Jon Jones because of our history. People want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody.
I do a job where I talk about the biggest things in the sport, so I can't omit that in talking about Jon Jones because of our history. No, actually, because of our history, people want my take on what's happening with Jon Jones more than anybody.
But the most powerful moment comes when DC responds to Jones saying he was the most painful thing in Cormier's life. And this is where it gets emotional, folks. This is the moment that shows the true character difference between these two men. Daniel Cormier, with incredible composure, delivers this gut punch reality check. You can't say that you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world. Or their father got murdered. But again, he knows that. But that's why you're dealing with a different type of human being.
You can't say that you're the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child. That's the craziest thing in the world. You say I'm the most painful thing that's happened in a person's life when they've lost a child or their father got murdered. But again, he knows that. But that's why you know you're dealing with a different type of human being.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is the difference between a man with class and someone who's willing to cross any line for attention. Daniel Cormier has experienced real tragedy, losing his daughter in a car accident, his father being murdered. For Jones to claim he's the most painful thing in DC's life, that's not just wrong, it's heartless. Cormier continues, "It sucked to lose, and it hurt a lot more in 2017. It doesn't hurt today. That's 8 years past. I'm not stuck on that." Then he delivers the knockout blow. He just really is not the smartest person. And once again, it's proven.
And it hurt a lot more in 2017. It doesn't hurt today. That's 8 years past. I'm not.
But here's what makes this whole situation even more ridiculous. Jon Jones recently retired from the UFC, only to announce he's back in the testing pool and wants to keep his options open. Meanwhile, there's a hungry Tom Aspinall literally begging for a fight with Jones. DC points this out perfectly. They got a dude that wants to fight him and is begging him to fight. When does this end? Can this end, guys? Like, when does this end?
Dude that wants to fight him and literally begging him to fight. When does this end? Can this end, guys? Like, when does this end?
The man is retired, living his best life with his family, doing his job as a commentator, and Jones is still trying to pick fights on Twitter. It's honestly embarrassing at this point. So there you have it, fight fans. Daniel Cormier just masterfully dismantled Jon Jones's Twitter tantrum while maintaining his dignity and class. This is exactly why DC is beloved by fans and respected throughout the MMA community, while Jones continues to be his own worst enemy. The question remains, will Jon Jones respond to this, or will he finally realize he's fighting a battle he can't win against a man who's moved on with his life? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Jones was out of line with his comments? Is DC right to call him insecure? Let me know. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more MMA drama and news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop the hottest takes in combat sports. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep it locked for all your MMA needs.
I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, you know, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, you know? And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, you know, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my body doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger.
Jon Jones, who retired and vacated his heavyweight title just months ago, is back in the headlines. And this time he's making some bold declarations that have fans and fighters alike scratching their heads. What you're about to hear might leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about championship protocols in the UFC. Jon Jones has just sent a clear warning message to the UFC and Dana White, declaring himself the greatest of all time, while simultaneously claiming a title he no longer officially holds.
What's up, guys? This is UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones, and I'm here in Moscow attending the IBA Bare Knuckle tomorrow at Life Arena with the one and only Alf. Let's go, baby.
Let's break down what's happening here, because this story has more twists than a Jon Jones spinning elbow. Back in June, the MMA world was stunned when Jon Jones announced his retirement following what many considered a lackluster heavyweight title reign. The 38-year-old legend had just defended his title against Stipe Miocic, but instead of facing the obvious next challenge, a unification bout with interim champion Tom Aspinall, Jones chose to walk away.
It was never about Jon Jones. What are you feeling towards him?
First of all, thanks for keeping it short, because I have said that I'm not going to speak about it anymore. Feelings towards him, I just wish him all the best. Genuinely wish him all the best. If he feels satisfied with what he's done, which he's saying he is, and he's happy to leave like that, then I genuinely wish him all the best.
UFC President Dana White confirmed that Jones had officially vacated the heavyweight title, leaving fans frustrated and critics calling him out for avoiding what many saw as his toughest test yet. But here's where it gets interesting, folks. Just weeks after his retirement announcement, something changed. Following Donald Trump's appearance at a UFC event and subsequent White House announcement, Jones suddenly reversed course on his retirement decision.
I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great Dana Well? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also.
And now? Well, now Jon Jones is traveling the globe, appearing at events from Thailand to Russia. And here's the kicker. He's still calling himself the UFC heavyweight champion. The latest controversy erupted when Jones arrived in Moscow for the IBA bare-knuckle fight event at Live Arena. In a promotional video that's now going viral, Jones made a statement that has the MMA community up in arms. What's up, guys? This is UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones. I am here in Moscow attending the IBA bare knuckle tomorrow at Live Arena. Let's go, baby.
What's up, guys? This is UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones, and I'm here in Moscow attending the IBA bare knuckle tomorrow at Life Arena with the one and only Alf. Let's go, baby.
Did you catch that? UFC heavyweight champion of the world, not a former champion, not ex-champion, current champion. The reaction from fans was immediate and brutal. Social media exploded with corrections, with comments like, "Why does he still refer to himself as the HW champ?" and "former champion" flooding the post. One fan summed up the frustration perfectly. "Yeah, he has gone past shameless. Why is he still calling himself the heavyweight champ? That clown already ran away. He's no champion."
You retired, but now it seems like you're getting back into it.
Yes,
Can you just explain it, break it down for us a little bit?
I was retired. I felt like I was at a place where I've done it all in the MMA space, and felt like there wasn't too many more challenges for me, and I just wanted to do something more than championships and money. And Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House Garden, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. Just to be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.
But wait, there's more. Jon Jones recently took to Twitter with a cryptic message that's adding fuel to the speculation fire. In a tweet that's got everyone talking, Jones wrote, "Who knows what the future holds? But the moment I heard Donald Trump's announcement, I started training again." This tweet came in response to questions about his fighting future, and it's clear that Trump's recent political activities have somehow motivated Jones to return to training. The timing is fascinating, linking his comeback aspirations directly to political developments.
Yo, just wanted to wish you all a very happy and proud 4th of July. Hope you guys were safe this year and that no one lost any fingers or anything like that. Dutch, lay down. That's a good boy. USA, USA.
Even fellow fighters are taking notice. Charles Oliveira responded directly to Jones's tweet asking, "So you were gonna fight?" The question everyone's asking now is this just Jon Jones being Jon Jones? Or is he genuinely preparing for a return to the Octagon? Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Jones's declaration of being the GOAT and his apparent warning to the UFC brass.
It's been an honor to watch you become the heavyweight champion, and I can't wait to see you again. Welcome back, and congratulations on achieving your goal.
Last thing.
The greatest of all!
By continuing to call himself champion and maintaining this public persona, Jones is essentially sending a message to Dana White and the UFC hierarchy. I'm still here, I'm still relevant, and I'm still the guy. This isn't just about ego, folks. This is strategic positioning. Jones knows that his name still draws attention, sells pay-per-views, and generates buzz. By refusing to let go of the champion moniker, he's keeping his negotiating power intact.
Who is the pound-for-pound #1 in the UFC, and who is the greatest of all time?
Listen, it is my belief that as long as this guy is active, he's the best. He's the pound-for-pound best in the world, and he's the greatest of all time. Thank you.
The GOAT claims aren't new for Jones. He's long considered himself the greatest of all time. But doing it while simultaneously avoiding top contenders and cherry-picking his appearances, that's what's rubbing people the wrong way. His recent activities, seminars in Thailand, reality show appearances that got canceled due to brawls, and now this Moscow event, suggest he's building his brand globally while keeping the UFC at arm's length. It's a power play, plain and simple. Jones is betting that his star power transcends official title status. The MMA community's reaction has been swift and largely negative. Fans are frustrated with what they see as Jones avoiding legitimate competition while still claiming champion status.
Jon Jones says he's back in camp. If he's getting ready and he's back in 2025, is it Tom Aspinall?
Yes, but while Jon is working somewhat hard to make sure it's not Tom, part of that is a troll. Part of that is Jon likes to have fun. But Tom is believing it. I mean, Tom is working double and triple time to secure that match. He isn't promised it. That Tom is no longer our interim champion. Apparently, he still is. But if Tom is an interim champion, then what's Jon? Because everybody says he's the undisputed champion. That is not possible. History says the interim champion is the #1 contender, but right now he's not. We're having a discussion. Of course they are going to fight. That's the only fight that's even going to be offered to Jon. He can either retire or fight. According to himself, he's in training camp, which means by virtue of proxy that he's agreed to fight Tom.
The criticism centers around several key points. First, Jones retired specifically to avoid fighting Tom Aspinall, who many consider the rightful heavyweight champion. Second, he vacated the title officially, making his continued claims technically invalid. Third, his flip-flopping on retirement based on political events has left many questioning his commitment to the sport. However, Jones still has supporters who argue that his legacy speaks for itself. They point to his long light heavyweight reign and his technical victory over Stipe Miocic as evidence that he deserves respect, regardless of current circumstances. The bigger question is what this means for the heavyweight division. With Aspinall holding the interim title and Jones in limbo, the division remains in an awkward state of uncertainty. Dana White has remained relatively quiet on Jones's recent antics, but you have to wonder how long the UFC will tolerate this public relations headache. So where does this leave us, fight fans? Jon Jones continues to operate in his own reality, one where he's still the heavyweight champion, despite officially vacating the title. His training resumption following Trump's announcement adds another layer of intrigue to an already complex situation. Will Jones actually return to face Aspinall?
I was retired. I felt like I was at a place where I've done it all in the MMA space, and felt like there wasn't too many more challenges for me, and I just wanted to do something more than championships and money. And Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House Garden, you know, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. I'm a very proud American. I have a lot of close friends that are in the military, and this is my act of I can't call it service, but just to be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.
Jon Jones has just dropped a clear bombshell to the UFC and Dana White with his recent social media activity. And trust me, this is not what anyone expected. From retirement announcements to mysterious Dubai trips, Bones is playing chess, while everyone else is playing checkers. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into what could be the most significant power play in heavyweight division history.
Hey, so they've announced this White House UFC fight. What do you think about that?
I think it's exciting. Very exciting.
Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very strong feeling that I'll be on that card.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any possible names you think?
Well, no, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall. We'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. I feel like the only thing to have an American guy fight for the championship that night, I'd be willing to put it all on the line.
Nice.
Let's start from the beginning, because this story has more twists than a Hollywood thriller. Just last month, Jon Jones shocked the MMA world by announcing his retirement and pulling the plug on what everyone thought was a guaranteed fight with Tom Aspinall. The heavyweight division was left in chaos. Dana White was visibly frustrated, and fans were absolutely devastated. But here's where it gets interesting. While the UFC was busy positioning Tom Aspinall as the new face of the heavyweight division, Jones wasn't exactly fading into the background like a typical retiree would.
Tom, July 2025, a lot has happened recently. How's everything going? How's training going? Is there something more you can share with us about your next fight?
Yeah, everything's going good. I mean, for the last year, almost. I've just been training non-stop. So, I mean, you know yourself, anytime that you're training, you're going to be improving.
Yeah.
So, I've been training pretty good. I've just been doing what I'm told by the UFC, which is stay ready. I've stayed ready for a year now. So, it's been a little weird situation, but that's done. We now have a fight. We can move forward with that. Finally, I'm really happy about it. Like, I'm happy to just move forward and leave the last...
Then came the game changer. President Donald Trump announced that the UFC would host a historic fight card at the White House in 2026 as part of America's 250th celebration.